Hey everyone, and welcome to my June Waypoint Books and Full Moon subscription box reading vlog. I'm currently a rep for Waypoint Books and their subscription boxes, and the one I'm specifically repping is their Full Moon subscription because they have two subscription boxes, Half Moon and Full Moon. I'll explain what the Half Moon is in a second, but the Full Moon box is where Hannah gets you to fill out a questionnaire when you sign up of your likes, your dislikes, what you really want to avoid, what you really like reading, all the rest of it, and then she will give you a list of 3 books in the middle of the month or at some point during the month with books that she thinks you'll really enjoy, and you pick one of those ones and she sends it to you along with a surprise book as well. And this one is still also based on your likes and dislikes, you just have no idea what it's going to be, so it's a surprise every month. That is how the Full Moon subscription box works. If you want the Half Moon subscription, what happens is you just get that list of 3 books, you pick that book, and then you are sent that book, and there is no surprise book. I hope that makes sense. I've tried to explain this like 4 times now, and for some reason I always fail at explaining it, but I hope that made sense. The books that Hannah sent me specifically are We Are Blood and Thunder by Kessia Lupo. This is the one I chose myself out of that list of 3, and this one is a fantasy book, and it says, in a city where magic is feared and the dead are worshipped, life is overshadowed by a powerful and devastating storm cloud. One woman is running for her life, another is trying to return home. I've heard really good things about this one. It was on my wish list for a really long time, and I was just sort of like umming and ahhing about it, but when Hannah put this onto my like options, I was like, right, immediately it's a sign I am going to read this one, so I got this one. And then the book she surprised me with was Bloodstained Teeth. This one is meet Atticus Sloane, a misanthropic criminal, an avid vinyl collector, and a member of the aristocratic vampire cabal of the Firstborns. For the right price, he'll turn you into a vampire too. After all, immortality isn't cheap. And it just sounds really good fun. Like, I know exactly why Hannah picked this for me. It's because it's a graphic novel and I'm a massive fan of graphic novels, and also because it's about vampires and she knows I absolutely love vampires. So I am so excited to read both of these, which is what this vlog is all about. I'm going to test it out, see how well Hannah knows me. I've got a good feeling about both of these, and what I'm going to do is start with Bloodstained Teeth because I've got a few things I've got to do today and I can read this very quickly before I have to get on and do stuff. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm bringing you along with me because why not? So let's get on with Bloodstained Teeth. So I've read issue 1 so far, and this is quite interesting. It looks like we've got a world of vampires where you've got the Firstborns, who are the ones who are like born vampires, and then you also have the Sips, which are the ones who were made into vampires. And essentially our main character Atticus keeps on making these Sips and everything else, and it's getting a little bit out of control, especially as some of them are being a little bit more like out there and being a little bit more like obvious with being vampires, all of this kind of thing. So one of the oldest, which is Brother Stoker, who is the First Council's head of public relations, has said essentially, you've now got to go around and kill everybody you have turned, and if you don't, we're going to kill you, essentially. So very interesting so far. Obviously as well, I quite like as well that like Brother Stoker is clearly Bram Stoker, and he's saying he made it up Dracula. So there could be this like he created a fiction of our truths so that we might hide behind it, hiding in plain sight behind the story of monsters. So I really like that as well. I've never really seen anything where it's like, oh, Bram Stoker's actually a vampire, so that is a really cool take on it. I never thought I'd see that. I hadn't even thought of it, to be fair, and that's really cool. So I'm really enjoying this so far. The artwork is a little bit more stylized than what I'm used to, so it's taking me a little bit of time to adjust to it, but I am really intrigued by the story already just by this first issue. We're now onto a scene where our main character is getting high, and I am really liking this art style. I mean, this looks really, really cool with how, like, the colour palette and how, like, on this page it all looks slightly blurred and everything. I just think that looks really, really cool. I'm really liking all of this. It just looks really, like, awesome. This isn't my usual colour palette either. Not colour palette, like art style. This is not an art style I'm used to, and it usually, like, turns me off a little bit when it's a little bit more psychedelic, but this is really, really working for me. I'm really liking the artwork on this, and the storyline in general. This storyline is right up my alley, and this artwork just... Hannah definitely knows me. That's all I'm saying. Hannah 100% knows me, because this is so much fun. I've just finished Bloodstained Teeth, and this was so good. I really, really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed how dark it was. I really liked this sort of, like, more, like, noir feeling to it. It was definitely very gripping, definitely very gory. We're talking, like, stabbings, beheadings. You see people getting beaten up. You see people obviously getting bitten. Vampires being set on fire. Things like this. All of this kind of thing is in here. So if you are not good with, like, gore or anything, please avoid this. But if you really like gory things and vampires, this is the way to go. This is 100% the way to go. I so enjoyed this. I definitely now need the second volume immediately, because I'm like, wait, whoa, because of the ending. I'm like, what? Like, I'm very intrigued by this secondary plot as well as like the first one. I really enjoyed, like, the connection as well to, like, Bram Stoker as well as Dracula as well in here. This was so much fun. I had such a good time with it. I will say that there was, like, a couple of panels where I was a little bit confused as to what was going on, because it was a little bit too psychedelic, but overall I really enjoyed this one, and I'm giving it 4 stars. Hannah, you know me, this was the best surprise. Oh my god, if this is the first one she sent me, I cannot wait to see what she's going to do with the other surprises as well that I'm going to get as part of my rep packages, and then in future as well, because this was so good. Oh my god, Hannah, you shock me. I mean, I had never even heard of this comic until she sent it to me. Literally, I opened it up and went, I've never heard of this, which is not like me, because I know quite a lot about comics. I spend a lot of time checking up on comics and all the rest of it. This one I never even heard of before, and I mean, she's just, like, hit it out of the park. I mean, Hannah, thank you so much. Just really enjoyed this. So enjoyed this. Seriously, if you do not have a subscription to Waypoint and their full moon box, you're missing out, because if this is the caliber of books I'm getting already, imagine what you're going to get as well. That's all I'm saying. Imagine what you're going to get if you sign up for Waypoint as well, because this, oh my god, this has potential to be a new favourite graphic novel series. Just putting it out there, this has potential to be a new favourite graphic novel series, and I do not say that lightly. Thank you so much, Hannah. This is going so well. This is amazing. I loved this. And now we're going to move on to We Are Blood and Thunder, and if that was the surprise that I enjoyed so much, I'm so excited to see what I think about this book as well. So, let's get going. I'm going to have lunch first, and then I'm going to make a start on this. Okay, so I've barely even started this yet, but can we just appreciate what we just saw in that last clip, which is a description of all of the gods with a little bit of what they represent, as well as their names, and then also, like, a little bit of a title, and also, like, the colour of the disciples' magic. That's just so unbelievably useful, and the fact that it's all drawn out as well. I love that. I absolutely love that. I've never seen, like, it actually been drawn out like this before, which I think just makes it so much, like, easier to look at, you know, and sort of, like, so much easier to like take things in. I don't know if that's just me, but that is a really nice detail I didn't know was coming. So I'm currently about 3 chapters in at the moment, which works out at page 68, and I'm really enjoying myself so far. I'm really liking this idea of like this world where there is this storm and there seems to be some sort of plague happening as well, and they're like blaming like the mages and things like this, and we're following 2 main characters. The first one was a cryptling, which means anybody who is marked is essentially sent off to the crypts to look after the dead and the ancestors and this kind of thing, and she's just been accused of being a mage and has been run out of town, or at least she was sent to death, but she ended up escaping. We're also following somebody else as well who's been outside in the world and has now come back to the Duke's Forest, which is where this seemingly is going to be set, and she's actually the Duke's daughter, and she's trying to figure out exactly what's happened throughout this time and what's going on, this kind of thing, and definitely intrigued so far. I am enjoying the talk of like cryptlings and things like this. That is definitely my vibe, and I'm really liking the writing style of this, and ow. I'm tired. I have no control over anything right now, but that was stupid. Anyway, I'm really enjoying it. The like style of writing of this and the world of this is very, very intriguing so far, and definitely finding that little key at the beginning quite interesting, because it's describing like different colours of magic, or at least purple magic, which works out as being Mithras, the masked god. So it's saying the disciples of Mithras are known as spies and assassins, often employed by the state, sometimes by private individuals for the right price. Little is known about the specific content of their work. Their temples tend to be hidden away, and that is one of our characters. They have purple magic, and that's just coming in that they are spies and assassins. So I'm like, ha! Are you going to come in to assassinate someone, or are you just spying? Either way, very intrigued so far. Definitely enjoying myself in this first sort of like 68 pages so far. Very, very excited. And it looks like Hannah picked me another one that's really good, which I had no doubt about, but definitely a good start to say the least. So now on to my second day of reading We Are Blood and Thunder, and I am on chapter 13, which is page 234, so I'm about like this much through, and I've got this much left, so I'm getting quite of a way into it. It's only 430 odd pages, so I'm not doing too badly on that front, and I am still really, really enjoying this. I'm really liking like the characters. I think I'm enjoying Constance's POV a little bit more than Lena's, but that's just because we are in the Duke's Forest in Constance's point of view, and there's a lot more like stuff going on, and it's less like learning about the magic system and more like what's actually happening with this storm cloud, things like this. But I'm still enjoying both points of view, and we've also just had some LGBTQIA plus rep in here as well, because Winton, who is Constance's brother, has just said that he prefers men over women, and he's never really wanted to like date a woman or anything else. He's actually more in love with a man, which I did not see coming. I did not see a like any sort of representation in here further than disability rep. Actually, Constance has a metal arm because of some accident or something. I'm not entirely sure why she has a metal arm, but she does have a metal arm that she keeps covered up, so that is a little bit of disability rep in here as well, which I wasn't expecting when I went into it. So hooray for rep. I thought I'd point that out as well, because not only does Hannah pick out great books, she picks out diverse books as well, which is always good to know. So I've now officially finished We Are Blood and Thunder, and I loved reading this one. I really, really enjoyed it the whole way through. This had so many tropes that I really, really love in here. We are talking about badass female characters, really cool magic systems. There was also like some like dark necromancy type feelings throughout here. There was a lot to do with like the dead and like those kind of like creepy Wednesday Addams gothic vibes as well, which I really enjoyed. And I don't mean like gothic books as in like the gothic books like Rebecca or anything like that. I'm talking about like the gothic as in like Wednesday Addams. Essentially, that's how I describe gothic quite a lot of the time. I know that will shock Hannah, I apologise, but that's kind of where my sort of like gothic sort of definition comes from, essentially. Either way, this had a lot of like dark themes in here. There was like necromancy, dark magic, all of this kind of thing. Badass female characters. There was a lot of gore in here as well in a lot of places, which I wasn't expecting but really, really enjoyed, and I just generally had a really good time with this. I will say that I do wish that the ending plot twist had maybe been foreshadowed a little bit more throughout this book. I don't know if I just missed that or what, but I didn't spot it, so that plot twist came a little bit left field for me, and I was a bit like, whoa, where did that come from? But to be fair, that could just be me. I've been a little bit distracted this week, so I may have just completely missed it. Either way, I did really enjoy this, and it was so good. It was so good. It was so well written and just so well done. I had such a good time with it. I did not want to put this down the whole time I was reading it, and I think I'm going to give it 4 stars. So again, thank you very much, Hannah, for sending me this book, because I absolutely loved it, and I am so glad that this was one of the 3 that she picked out for me, and this is the one I chose because it was such a good time. I loved it. And that's going to conclude this Waypoint subscription box vlog. So in conclusion, I'm going to say that Hannah's subscription is amazing, because I mean, if this is the caliber of the book she's sending me, like on my first box, I have no idea what she's going to send me next, because this was incredible. Both books she sent me were completely up my alley, with tropes and things in here that I really love, and storylines I'm really into, and like magic systems and everything else I'm really into. She completely got my taste down entirely, and I know for a fact that she will do the exact same thing for all of you if you subscribe. So if you do want to check this out, and quite frankly you really should, because this is amazing, and if you want books that you've never heard of or forgotten exist in the first place, and you know you're going to love them, then you should definitely sign up for this, because you will not regret it. This was amazing. But if you are still on the fence, please do use my code, or even if you aren't on the fence and you just want 30% off, use the code BECCAFM23 for 30% off your first box. I should also mention that this box also ships internationally as well, so don't worry about which country you're in. Hannah ships to like most countries. There's very few exceptions in there as well, so you don't have to worry about that either. She's very affordable on shipping and everything else, and there is no downside to this. You're going to get 2 books or 1 book depending on whether or not you go for half moon or full moon, and you will love whatever books you get. I guarantee it. They are so good. Hannah is so good at choosing books that you're going to love. Trust me. And I think that's why I'm going to leave this video, because I don't really have much else to say apart from singing more of these books' praises and Hannah's praises and everything else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give me a thumbs up. Comment down below. Tell me if you're going to be signing up. I'd love to know. Or if you use my code, please tell me down below as well. I'd love to know. Or if you don't have that much time, leave me a lightning emoji down below to let me know that you're here. I'll also leave a link as well down below to all my social media if you want to check it out, including to the Comic Book Sanctum, which is my website dedicated to Marvel Comics, which has got nothing to do with anything I read today, but it's always a fun time to check that out. I'll also leave a link as well down below to my Etsy store, so you can check that out, that sells bookish merch, as well as a link as well down below to Waypoint Books as well, so you can check out the subscription services and sign up for yourself. Or if you just want to see any more of my videos where I'm going to be reading more of these types of books and things that Hannah sends me, please click subscribe here, and over here will be the link to my previous video. But until next time everyone, bye!